When you're looking at your past lives, you probably wonder, when did I live long ago? Hello, hello, hello. It's Carol Ann Chapman, and I'm the author of When We Were Gods, which is a chronicle of my past life memories of Atlantis. Now, in this series on how to find your past lives through clues in your present life, we've already talked about why bother learning about your past lives. We've talked about where did you live in your past life, and meaning what country, and also what environment did you like to live in, for example, the seashore or the mountains. And we also talked about what were you doing in your past life based on the clues in this present life. So today we are going to look at, when did you live in your past life based on clues in your present life. And so we're going to look at what kind of books and movies do you love? And we're especially looking at historical books and movies. So for example, are you one of those people that like, say, Jurassic Park, Clan of the Cave Bears? Well, that would be a lifetime in a prehistoric time when we lived very naturally in caves and we're hunter gatherers, and maybe we're beginning to grow things. So what if you like these movies and you love romances with pirates, like Pirates of the Caribbean? Well, that time period would be like the 1700s and 1800s, or even as early as the 1600s. And could have been not only Europe, but there's a lot of piracy also in Asia, in the boats sailing in the Indian Ocean there, or even in the Pacific. Now, next, what about the Napoleonic Wars or the Revolutionary War here in the United States? Do you like to watch movies and read books about that time period? Well, that would be in the late 1700s. Now, maybe you're like me. I like to read romances, but I especially like romances about the Regency period in England. And that time was in the early 1800s. So if you like those kind of romances, that might have been the time when you lived before. What about the Civil War, such as Gone with the Wind? Do you know Gone with the Wind is the highest grossing movie if you convert the um, the money into art. You know how there's been inflation. Well, Avatar is supposed to be the highest grossing movie, but if you adjusted the money that was made from Gone with the Wind, you'll find that it's number one. So lots of people love that movie, and it is shown over and over and over and over again, which is the Civil War time here in the United States. And certainly, if you love going to Civil War reenactments, there's a really good chance that you lived during that time, which was around 1861. Now, what about the Titanic? Was that the movie that just stirred your soul? Well, the Titanic was from the early 1900s, 1912. That would have been before the First World War. So, is that a, if that is something that you love, could you have been alive at that time? Now, another really popular movie that people watch over and over again, they love the music to it, is Dr. Zhivago. Dr. Zhivago is around 1905, before the Russian Revolution. And if that's a movie you love, it might also indicate that you had a past life in Russia. Now, finally, these are the movies that I love the most. I love movies of the Second World War. And I especially love movies in which Jews escape from concentration camps, or movies in which they, even in spite of the concentration camp, they live. Like Schindler's List is one of my favorites because at the end you see that in spite of everything Hitler did, there are still so many Jewish people on earth. And I do know that I did have a past life in that time and was in a concentration camp. So it makes perfect sense that these are the kind of movies that I love to watch of that time period. All right. So if you keep track of the different videos in this series, in the different episodes, by now, if you're keeping track, you'll have a sense of where you lived, what country you lived in the past, what environment, whether you're on the seashore or the mountains or on the plains. You'd have an idea of what did you do based on your talents in this lifetime. And now with this one, with this video here, you might get an idea of where, no, not where, of when you lived in your past life. All right, now, next in this series of live stream, I'm going to look at different difficulties you have in this lifetime and what it could mean about a past life. And also in another series that I'm doing, which has to do with evidence of Atlantis in ruin sites. That's going to be on Thursday, which is in 2 days. So that's going to be May 4th. And that one is going to be, that one's going to be continuing. I started last week about looking at evidence in ruins in Egypt, especially in the Pharaoh's tombs, the paintings there in Pharaoh's tombs. So that's this Thursday on May 4th at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And the next one having to do with what past life did you have, that is going to be next week, 7 days from today. So that would be May 9th on Tuesday, May 9th at 1 p.m., looking at the difficulties you've had in this lifetime and what that would mean about things that happened in your past life. In other words, this is how did you get the karma you're dealing with in this particular life. All right, now if you've enjoyed this, please tap that like button. And if you're interested in these topics of past lives and also Atlantis, memories of Atlantis, please subscribe. Great talking with you. Toodaloo. Bye-bye.